Hey guys, it's About Beer 30. Let's take a walk into the kitchen and see what's in the fridge today. Hey everybody, thanks for stopping by Gregsbeerreviews. Today we're going to do us another one of these Firestone Walker Wild Ales. This is their Agrestic American Wild Red Ale, batch number 2, bottled on 7/13 of 2015, 6.8% alcohol. Barrel ratio 85% French oak, 15% American oak. And so we got the ABV and the bottled on date. This one's been in the bottle almost 2 years. Today is the 19th of June. So almost lax about a month from being 2 years in the bottle. Expensive bottle. They picked this up and sent it to me. Little note he reads 7/15/15. $15 a bottle. And it's just like the one we did yesterday, the Creaky Bones. High dollar beers, but they're barrel aged and corked and caged on top of that. So expensive beers to purchase, but they're not something you want to drink multiples of, I guess, unless you have deep pockets. Special occasion beer, if you will. So we're going to get it out. I'm still trying to wrap my arms around these wild sour ales, so he's trying to help me along in that process. So thanks again, Nate. I do appreciate it, sir. Commercial notes on this basically tells a little bit more of what I've just explained to you from the front label. This elaboration begins its journey as a DBA and then continues through the chrysalis process involving 87% French and 13% American. A little different notes. It says a little different on the front of this one. But also, I'm reading this off of Beer Advocate, and they have it at 6.6 in this bottle. And it says it's batch number 2, it's 6.8 on the bottle. So we're going to go with the bottle. To blend, we selected beer matured 8 to 24 months in barrels, creating a synergistic beer, immediately toasted oak and lemon peel swirl on the nose and palate, followed by an amazing harmony of vanilla, coconut, Earl Grey tea, and spice. The finish is crisp with mouth-watering acidity and chewy tannins. Since we age, blend, and bottle these beers once a year, there will be slight variation with each release. So ABV is a little different, and probably the taste is going to be a little bit different from batch to batch. So that's basically all we need to talk about. I'm pretty sure we're not going to have an IBU. I'll step over to Untap. No, we do not. So I don't think there's anything else we need to talk about, so let's see if I can get this cork out of there with a lot of big problems. Like I told you yesterday, sometimes these things pop right out easy. As a matter of fact, sometimes when you take the cage off of them, they want to come out. They're so carbonated. Yesterday's wasn't too bad. Alright, here we go. Nice little pop. And it's staying in the bottle. Yay! It's not spewing all over the place. That's a good thing. Let's get it into the glass and see what we got. Alright, this one's a little more yellow than the one we got yesterday with the sour cherries. Cheese of pepper, Monterey, pepper jack, sharp blue. Your stronger cheeses. Glassware, flute tulip, oversized wine glass. I got my favorite tulip glass. It says here can be sold for a long period of time. 6.8%, it's almost 7%. They're just kind of on the pricey side. So once again, Nate, thank you. I appreciate you spending your hard-earned money on these pricey beers and sending them to me. Over into the light, guys. A very nice amber color. A lot of bubbles streaming up. Whole lot of bubbles. About a finger and a half, 3/4 of head on this. A little bit bigger soapy bubbles, nice and creamy up on top. Good looking beer, it really is. Let's get a nose on it. I'm getting that wild sour yeast funkiness going on. A hint of some citrusiness in there. And a little bit of lighter fruit. That's about all I'm getting on the nose. So let's give it a taste. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, Nate. Very pleasant. It's not overpowering with the funkiness or the sour tartness. About where my palate is at. Some of them overpower my palate because it's not my particular style of beer and I haven't drank a whole lot of them. Nice and tasty and fruity. Very effervescent. Very enjoyable beer. Very effervescent on the tongue. Almost champagne-esque with the bubbles and everything going on. Very nice. Very enjoyable. Hopefully I'm getting into these a little bit more and more, and they're just not making me pucker up like I've had a persimmon or something in my mouth, but it seems very tasty. So let me sip on it for a little bit and see what we end up with. I'll be right back. Alright guys, I'm back. Got just a little left here. Been sipping on about 30 minutes or so. Very nice beer. This one a little easier on the palate than the one with the sour cherries in it yesterday. It's a very tasty beer, very well made beer for 6.8%. Nice and fruity. You definitely get the wild yeast. Does have that funkiness going on. This is not as much into like a wine because of the cherries that the Creaky Bones had yesterday. This one is just more like a sour, funky wild ale. To me, it's a little easier on my palate. It's not quite as sour or as tart as yesterday's was. But that may be attributed to I had one yesterday, so maybe my palate is getting more acclimated to it or something. I don't know. I enjoyed this one a little bit more. Final two. Nice and light, crisp and refreshing. Has just enough of that sourness and funkiness that it's not overpowering my palate. I think it's a very well made beer, guys. I do think it's an A beer. I'm going to give this a 94. That's where I'm going to put it. I enjoyed this one a tad bit more than the one I had yesterday. So let's run over to Beer Advocate. And Beer Advocate has it at 93. So we're pretty close on those numbers. And over to Untapped, they have it at 4.24. 8 numbers there too. So this one's also an A beer all around. And like I said, I enjoyed this one a tad bit more than the one I had yesterday. It was a little easier for me to drink than that one. And this one doesn't taste as strong as a wine. I wouldn't get a whole lot of wine characteristics as I was off the one from yesterday. So I enjoyed this one just a tad more. So that's why I gave it just a couple notches better on the number grade there, guys. So, and there may be people out there, oh my God, you're crazy. That's a 10 beer. I wouldn't argue with that. People that are into this style of beer, and especially these little small corked and cage bottles, which are kind of pricey, I can understand that, and I wouldn't argue with that. So I enjoyed it though. My palate is not quite to the stage where I can say, oh my God, this is the best one I've ever had. It's a 10 beer. Not quite there yet though, but I do believe it's a well-made beer and it's a very tasty beer. So if you've had this one, they're Agrestic number 2, batch number 2. Let me know what you think. And come on back tomorrow. Let's take something tasty out of the fridge. See you then.